Elementor 4.0 versus Wix Studio, the ultimate next-gen website builder showdown. The world of professional web creation just hit a massive turning point. For years, the choice was simple: the flexibility of Elementor or the ease of Wix. But today, the lines have blurred. With the release of Elementor 4.0 and the Atomic Editor, Elementor has evolved from a simple plugin into a powerful, system-based design infrastructure. On the other side, Wix Studio has emerged as a professional-grade powerhouse, combining sophisticated visual logic with a robust CMS and business automation engine. It's no longer a question of beginner versus pro. It's a question of workflow. Does your business need the high-performance atomic code structure of the new Elementor? Or do you need the all-in-one business logic provided by Wix Studio? In this SaaS track review, we're skipping the fluff. We are going deep into the dashboards, step by step, to see how these tools actually handle design, data, and scaling in a real-world agency environment. First, let's look at the complete architectural rebuild of the Elementor Atomic Editor. We've all been there. A 50-page site is finished, and the client suddenly wants to change a brand color site-wide. In the past, that meant hours of manual updates. Elementor 4.0's Atomic Editor is built to end that nightmare. This isn't just a collection of new widgets. It's a total architectural rebuild. It shifts the focus from styling individual blocks to building scalable design systems, ensuring your site foundation is consistent, professional, and updated in seconds. The dashboard philosophy in 4.0 is built on three pillars: atomic structure, design systems, and reusability. When you open the editor now, you aren't just looking at a canvas, you're looking at an infrastructure. The goal here is to give you more freedom, not less, by using a cleaner foundation. This means fewer nested divs and a much more streamlined workflow that allows a single change to scale across an entire enterprise-level website instantly. Setting up the new environment is remarkably fast. If you're starting a brand new site, the onboarding flow is your first stop. After signing in, the dashboard asks who you're building for: yourself, a client, or a workplace. You then choose your site type, like a small med business or landing page. One of the best additions here is the theme selection. You can start with the Hello theme, a flexible blank canvas, or Hello Biz for ready-to-use layouts. Once you enter the editor, look at the Elements panel on the left. You'll see a dedicated Atomic Elements section right at the top. For existing sites, you don't have to worry about breaking anything. You simply go to WordPress dashboard greater than Elementor greater than settings and toggle the Atomic Editor tab to activate. Your old V3 sections and your new V4 sections will live side by side without conflict. Let's look at the actual Elements panel. You still have your staples, flexbox, heading, paragraph, and image. But look closer at the atomic form elements. These are now broken down into label, input, and text area. The real breakthrough is seen when you inspect the code. In previous versions, a simple heading was wrapped in multiple layers of HTML containers, often called div soup. In the new Atomic engine, when you select a heading, the DOM structure is flat and clean. This is massive for performance. Fewer lines of code mean faster rendering and higher Google page speed scores. Every Atomic element now follows a unified 3-tab system: General for content, Style for visuals, and Interactions for motion. It's consistent across every widget, which flattens the learning curve significantly. Now let's move to the Style tab. This is where the single source of truth begins. When you click on a color control, you'll see the Variables Manager icon. Instead of typing in a hex code like #35132B, you click plus to create a variable. In the dashboard, we create yard maroon, yard yellow, and yard olive. These aren't just global colors, they are dynamic tokens. When you apply yard maroon to a button, you are linking it to the manager. If the client wants that warmer feel we talked about, you open the manager, adjust the color once, and the entire site updates. This isn't just for colors. It works for font variables and size variables too. You can define a section padding variable of 80 pixels, apply it to all your containers, and then change the entire site spacing from a single slider. Next to the variable icon is the classes field. This is where Elementor 4.0 starts to feel like professional CSS coding without the code. A class is a style preset. For example, we create a class called Display Heading. We set the typography to 64 pixels, bold, and uppercase. Now, look at the workflow. When you go to a completely different section, you don't have to restyle the heading. You just type Display Heading into the class box and it snaps to the correct style. You can even stack classes. You might have one class for button structure, padding and borders, and another for button primary, colors. This modular styling is a huge upgrade from the old way of copy-pasting styles from one widget to another. To see this in action, let's look at the atomic tabs. Traditional tab widgets are a single rigid block. The new atomic tabs break the widget down into independent parts in the navigator, the tab menu, the triggers, and the content areas. Because each trigger is a separate element, you can style them individually. You can add a selected state class, so when a user clicks redesign, it highlights in yard yellow. If you need a third tab, you just duplicate a trigger in the navigator. Because it's part of the design system, the new tab is already styled and ready to go. You're building the logic of the site, not just the look. The most powerful part of the 4.0 dashboard is components. Imagine you've designed a team card with a specific layout. You right-click the container and select Create Component. Now, when you enter the component editor, you can define properties. You can expose the image, name, and role fields. When you go back to your main page and drop in 4 of these cards, you can change the photo for each person, but the layout stays locked. If you later decide the cards need rounded corners, you edit the master component and all 4 cards on the page and every other card on the entire site update instantly. This also allows you to control what your clients can edit. You give them access to change the text, but you lock the font and spacing so they can't break your design. Wix Studio, the professional review. While Elementor focuses on atomic systems, Wix Studio approaches professional web design through the lens of responsive logic. When you open the editor, the layout is governed by 3 specific behaviors: docking, margins, and padding. On the dashboard, you'll notice dotted blue lines whenever you select an element. This represents docking. It defines which edge of a parent container an element will stick to. As you drag an element across the canvas, the docking lines snap dynamically. The dashboard is designed for speed with an auto-docking system. But for complex layouts, you can go to the Position section in the Inspector panel on the right and manually override this. By unchecking the Auto Dock box, you can select specific edges, like docking a title to the bottom left, to ensure it stays anchored regardless of screen size. One of the most unique features in the Wix Studio Properties panel is the pixel asterisk. In the dashboard, px asterisk acts as a fluid unit. When you set an element size in the right-hand sidebar, the asterisk calculates the pixel value relative to the current canvas. This means, as you move between desktop and mobile breakpoints, the value adjusts automatically, giving you the precision of pixel-perfect design with the flexibility of a percentage-based layout. Margins represent the numerical distance between the element and its anchor. If you switch the section to fit to screen, the dashboard flips the margin calculation dynamically as you move elements. Finally, padding acts as an internal boundary. The dashboard includes a high-end alignment tool that recognizes this padding, centering elements within the remaining internal space rather than the whole screen. This nested logic allows you to build complex stacks where everything stays perfectly balanced. Moving into the brain of the site, the CMS tab on the left sidebar is where you manage your collections. In the dashboard, a collections acts like a professional database. You can start from scratch to define content fields, choosing data types like rich text for descriptions or image for covers. The data entry interface is a clean table where each row represents a site item. This separation of content and design means you can store all your project data in one place. It allows a copywriter to update text in the dashboard without ever touching the visual layout, ensuring the design remains protected while the content stays fresh. The real power of the CMS is realized through dynamic pages. In the dashboard, adding an item page creates a single design template that generates a unique URL for every item in your collection. You will notice a data set icon floating on the canvas. This is the bridge between your design and your database. When you select a text element and click the Connect to CMS icon, you map it to a specific field. For the home page, you can link repeaters to this same dataset. By styling just the first card, the dashboard automatically pulls data for every other item. The dataset settings panel gives you deep control over filters and sorting logic. Crucially, you can access the CMS directly from the main site dashboard without opening the editor, which is a massive feature for managing client content efficiently. Beyond design and data, Wix Studio acts as an automated business manager. In the site dashboard, navigate to the Automations tab. When you click Plus new automation, the dashboard uses a clear if/then logic. You start by selecting a trigger, the event that kicks off the process. The dashboard pulls triggers from all your installed apps, such as order placed from Wix stores or session booked from Wix bookings, ensuring the site responds to every user interaction. Which one for whom? After looking at the new Elementor 4.0 Atomic Editor and the comprehensive Wix Studio dashboard, the choice depends entirely on your business model. Choose Elementor 4.0 if you are a WordPress power user. You want the freedom of the WordPress ecosystem and the ability to choose your own hosting. You build for high-end performance. You need the atomic code structure to hit 99+ scores on Google PageSpeed Insights. You are an agency building design systems. You need global classes and components to manage massive sites where a single brand update must ripple across hundreds of pages. Choose Wix Studio if you want an all-in-one business solution. You need the CMS Automations and e-commerce tools built in and ready to go without managing separate plugins. You value visual logic. You prefer a free-form editor that handles the complex math of responsiveness, docking and margins for you. You want zero maintenance. You prefer a platform where security, hosting and updates are handled by the provider, allowing you to focus purely on design and client management. The bottom line: Elementor is now a professional design infrastructure, while Wix Studio is a professional business engine. Choose the tool that matches your workflow. That's it for today. We'll be back with another SaaS review soon. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, share and subscribe.